fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today to share with you, as you can see, the finish of my gamer girl. This is a piece of art by Medusa Dollmaker. This is my second canvas from DIY Moon Shop before they closed, and it's done. So I'm gonna talk about the things that I liked, the things I didn't like. We'll take a close-up look at some of the stuff on the canvas, and yeah, let's just get into what I thought. So first of all, this is a 50 by 71 size canvas. It is a round. It had 38 colors. First of all, there's only one schematic on this side of the canvas. And while everything looks nice and clear here, there is a 5 symbol and an S symbol that, while they look clear enough here on the canvas, on the schematic, were really hard to tell apart on the actual canvas itself. I don't think I had any other issues with anything else being able to tell it apart. There were some that were kind of hard to see just because of the colors and everything. But other than that, that was really the only color that I had. This canvas, oh my goodness, so much confetti. And I mean, I don't mind confetti, but particularly this section here with the keyboard, that was nothing but confetti. Of course, a ton of confetti here all the way around. The blue kind of star field background was nothing but confetti. I mean, there were like little vignettes, you know, you could finish the little mushrooms here, the little Mario, the little Link, but yeah, just a ton of confetti. And I think that made it take longer than I had anticipated. It took me 43 hours to do this canvas. I don't know if that was all strictly due to the confetti, but I'm sure that had an impact. A couple of things that were kind of weird, for whatever reason, it is poured glue and it had a cover sheet, but the cover sheet was cut in half and not equally in half. Like one cover sheet was like 2/3 of the canvas, and then there was another one that was just like 1/3. I don't know why that is. I don't know if they ran out of cover sheet, so they were just making do, you know, instead of one larger one or whatever. My other canvas was all just one cover sheet, although admittedly I think it was smaller than this one. The other thing that I noticed, and a part of the reason I think this took me so long, I'm still not quite sure if it was the drills or the glue. I had a lot of trouble with drills sticking to my pen rather than sticking to the canvas. And not because of my glue dots, but because either the canvas wasn't sticky enough, or what I think was happening was that the drills were concave, and so they weren't flat enough to adhere properly to the canvas. So that was a little annoying, and I think part why it took me a little bit longer than I thought. The other thing for these drills is, I don't know how to describe it other than they're harder, which is not quite exactly what I'm trying to get across, but when placing them on the canvas, you know, they just felt harder than regular drills, which seems like a weird thing to say. These are acrylic, these are not resin drills, I knew that, but they just have a different feel even to other acrylic drills. Gotta say, not a fan. I mean, I think they look nice. It's not that. It's just, I don't know, just a feeling that they were, for whatever reason, more difficult than other drills. And again, I'm not quite sure that harder is the word I'm looking for there. But yeah, just something a little off about the drills that I was not happy with. This kit came with some 310 ABs for you to substitute in. I opted not to do that because for me, 310 is black. It's supposed to blend into the shadows. You know, that one is what makes some of it look so realistic. And if you substitute in those 310 ABs everywhere, then that kind of ruins the effect because they're more noticeable. Things don't fade a bit into the background. And given the kind of the very toned down color palette of this kit, I just didn't think the 310 ABs were appropriate. And after having finished it, I'm really glad that I didn't use them. because I think it wouldn't have looked as good. That being said, it was kind of interesting. It's always interesting to me, you know, I pick a canvas because I like the image, and then you get into it and I'm like, oh, I didn't realize, oh, I didn't realize. So one thing for me was I was never a huge like Mario gamer, so I'm asking, you know, my kids, of course I recognize Mario. I get the little Game Boy, the keyboard, you know, the console here, the controller, the little monitor. I'm not quite sure what the little hedgehog is from. I don't know if that's a reference to Sonic. I don't know if there's some kind of hedgehog in Mario I'm missing, or Zelda or something. I know that's Link from Zelda. I'm not quite sure who this other character is. I assume also from Zelda, but I could be wrong. And then I was asking my daughter about these little kind of Venus flytraps with the mouths, and she's like, oh yeah, those are plans from Mario. And I'm like, well, okay. So for me, I'm calling them Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors because I don't know that that's what they are, but whatever. I really like the Art Nouveau style of this canvas. That was one of the things that appealed to me when I saw the image. However, I think somebody mentioned that I could have gotten this in a bigger size. I don't remember seeing a bigger size as an option, but I can't go look now because their website is closed. So, however, I will say, when I first started out, I really love the rendering on her back foot here. I think it looks really good. I am not happy at all with how abrupt the changes in skin tone are here on her leg. I think they could have done a much better rendering job, charting job of making those mix together like they did here. Like, I don't think that this color here, the highlight color, needs to be as bright as it is. I think they could have gotten away with a slightly less bright skin tone. And I could go back and change it out, but I'm not going to. I want to do these canvases because I want to see what they look like as is, right? And for me, a lot of these, I'm probably not going to end up framing them. I thought maybe I would with this one, but yeah, just not happy with this. And not as detailed as I would like it to be. Like in the artwork, you can see where it says chips on the bag here. It's so pixelated, you can't really read that there. Although you can tell there are potato chips on her lap, you can't really read what the bag says. I do think her dress and, you know, her arm straps and everything and the collar of her dress, those were rendered nicely. I do like that. And I will say up here, when we get to her arms and her face, I think those were done much better than her legs. They're at least not quite as abrupt as a change. Maybe here it could have been a little less abrupt, but I don't mind this one at all, and I think her face looks good at the size. Again, I could have put ABs in the gamer on the banner up at the top. I'm glad I didn't. I think it looks good the way that I did. Plus, you know, there's so much black in all of the little accoutrement and everything of the consoles and the monitor and the keyboard and all that stuff. I just don't think the 310s would have looked good. I am not going to be saving the drills from this kit. Like I said, I'm having a hard time articulating what I didn't like about the drills, but yeah, they were problematic for me, and rather than, you know, save them and give myself a headache on another kit down the road, I'm just not going to save them. Now, for my trash, I didn't have a ton of trash. What you see here is a lot of, like I said, those ones that were kind of concave on the bottom, and so they weren't adhering well. In certain colors, there were certain ones where there was like a lot of the, you know, not completely formed drills and that kind of thing. But other than that, not a huge amount of trash for the size of the kit, so not unhappy with that, but just not interested in, you know, keeping all of the drills. So like I said, you can see here tons of confetti and kind of this border here. This is the artist's signature thing. Very pixelated. You can't read her name. For me, I kind of wish that was not there because I feel like it takes away from some of the intricacies of the artwork in other places. I get why they do it, but a ton of confetti here. I mean, just this entire thing was just, yeah, a ton of confetti. Again, at a smaller size. I don't remember there being a bigger one, but if there was, I should have gotten it, because you just lose a lot of that detail, you know, as you get up close and you're working, you're like, what is that? So, like, I didn't realize until I got up into this section up in here that I think those are supposed to be Tetris blocks behind her. And you can see some more of the little Venus flytrap plants. My daughter told me what they were called, but I've already forgotten. I do love her hair. I think they did a really good job on her hair. The Art Nouveau style of it, of course, I love. And then, you know, just kind of this flowing mass with all these kind of curly cues down here. I think that turned out really well. And I do like the way they did, you know, the little straps of her dress across her arms and the little piece of her dress, whatever that little front piece is. But yeah, not particularly happy with the leg is the thing that bothers me the most, I think. You know, happy with how it turned out. Not quite what I thought it was going to be, but not terrible. I do like the image. I know that Jada Gem Shop has picked up Medusa Dollmaker as an artist, so you can get this canvas over there. I don't know what sizes are offered. I haven't looked on it, but if you're interested, you can certainly check it out over there. I did enjoy working on the kit. Like I said, I love these kits where you get like these little pieces. So, you know, one day I was working on Link and this little person here. One day I was working on the potato chips on her lap. One day I was working on Mario. One day I was working on the monitor and the little hedgehog. So I get this sense of accomplishment. I finished this little piece of it, which I enjoy when it helps break up when it's these larger kits. But again, just issues with the drills that I'm not quite happy with, and some issues with the rendering that I wish was a little bit different. But I enjoyed it, and that's what counts. So there you go, guys. There's my post-completion review of Gamer Girl by Medusa Dollmaker from DIY Moon Shop. I won't be able to put a link below because, of course, they are now closed, but I'm glad I got to do a couple of kits. There were always people talking about how well DIY Moon did their skin rendering and everything, and I don't know, again, if this is just kind of a fluke because I got a smaller size. And now I don't know because I can't buy from DIY Moon anymore. So yeah, just my thoughts and how I felt after completing it. Thanks for sticking around till the end of the video, guys. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.